Hi there, I'm Keith, and this is a attack from down under. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you my standout albums for the year, the most listened to albums and songs. Just to keep me honest, I'll be using all my statistics for my streaming services to let me know what I've actually listened to the most rather than what I think I've listened to the most. So first off, what I've been listening to just now is AC/DC's Christmas album called The Razor's Edge. And the reason this is a Christmas album, it's got the song on it, track number 5, Mistress for Christmas, the great Christmas song there. So I've been blasting that one on there. So early in the year, a lot of old school bands started pretty strong, I have to say, with put out albums, and one of them was the Metal God, Rob Halford, and Judas Priest came out with Invincible Shield album. Just a great album. Happy to pick that up at the time. And a lot of songs that are memorable and just I can just recite in my head because I've listened to that album quite a lot this year. Another must listen this year from all these old guys is Saxon's album Hellfire and Damnation. These guys, of course, like Judas Priest, been around a long time. I did not pick up their last album Carpe Diem. It just didn't seem to have the songs that I wanted to, listen to. There was the odd song that I liked, and I listened to it, but this one I definitely had to pick up, and it was at a good price at my local record store, so grabbed it straight away. And I listened to Madame Guillotine. I watched the video for that on YouTube, so you had to get that one early on in the year. So that's sort of the first half of the year, came out with those releases that I was interested in buying. Not so much the second half of the year. There wasn't a lot that sort of stand out that I had to have as far as new releases. According to Spotify, I went through kind of a weird psychedelic doom metal phase. I was listening to Solitude, Eternus, and Mansion, and this next CD I'm going to show you. It's called My Silent Wake, Lost in Memories, Lost in Grief. Great little album, this one. Quite doomy. I'm sort of a fan of Simon Bibby's vocals, so when I heard that he was on this, I had to get this one. A lot of tracks that I did like on here. I can listen to this whole album and not have to skip tracks or anything like that. This struck me quite perfectly at the time, and that was another early on. Was it early on? I can't quite remember when that came out, but it was a good one. Another song that was in massive rotation. It's an old song, not a 2024 song, and that was from this album here. And the song was from Pantera, Cemetery Gates. Of course, Cowboys from Hell. That song helped me so much. Won't go into too much, but had a death in the family, and that one was in constant on my playlist. So that's a fantastic thing that I find about music, as far as its ability to alter your mood. Like, you can walk in and have a bit of an evil mood, and then you listen to an album or a few tracks, and then you walk out feeling like much better. and that's just one of the things that's just so fantastic about music. It alters your mood. So that song on there, Cemetery Gate, just helped me through a bit of a dark period this year. I listened to probably a lot more black metal than I've listened to any other year. I listened to Ulcerate, New Zealand band Cutting the Throat of God. I streamed that quite a bit as well. I listened to something like 250 plus bands this year, which is pretty good, seeing as my system was down for like about 3 months. So just that's just the statistics on Spotify. So just on a more kind of uplifting sort of note, an album that I just loved from this year is Magnum. Here Comes the Rain. This just gets better and better when I listen to it more and more. So you've got Bob Catley on vocals. I'll show you a picture of him. Where is that's him there, I think. And people talk about how Rob Halford and how Biff Byford can sing great after all these years, but no one seems to talk about this guy in Magnum. If you were just to listen to his vocals without anyone telling you, you think the guy was like 20 something years old. Just amazing vocalist, this guy. Sadly, this is the last album from Magnum because Tony Clarkin, the guitarist and the main songwriter, passed away this year. But you know, one of the strongest albums that I've really enjoyed this year is Magnum, Here Comes the Rain. And I just listened to it now, and yeah, what a great album, really, for me. So according to my statistics for bands for 2024, that they let you know what are the most played songs from particular bands this year. So my number one was The Angels, that I listened to the most, of how many hours during the year. Number two was Iron Maiden, which is not particularly surprising because I had them on regular streaming because I was going to see them in concert this year, just leading up to that constantly the whole time. But looking back and just looking at my most streamed songs of 2024, and my number one song was from this album here, Right 5, Mean Streets, and the song was High Noon. And Right 5, been going a long time under the Right label. This is the new band lineup, Right 5, and they quite often do Western themed songs, and I just really like the song High Noon on this album. It's taken me a while to pick up this album, but I finally got it. And so number one song played of 2024 was High Noon from that. Number two was from this album, Crypt Sermon, and the album is The Stygian Rose, and the song was Heavy as the Crown of Bone. On here, really terrific album. Just doomy heavy metal, you know. Honestly, one of the best albums of this year for me, and that song was number two, Heavy as a Crown of Bone. Number three of the songs of the year was Hold On to a Dream, and from this album, Sebastian Bach. Of course, he's from Skid Row. Great sounding album, and just one of the ones I listened to quite a bit this year. Another one was from Flotsam and Jetsam, their latest album, I'm the Weapon, but I haven't picked that one up yet. A bit more difficult to find. So, just some of the more recent purchases that have rounded off this year for me, just with not just heavy metal, but just everything. I picked up The Cure Songs of a Lost World. I know this cover feels a bit weird, and the vinyl's like a bio recycled vinyl or something. That this sort of reminds me of a lot of the old Cure albums that I do still listen to, like Pornography and even older than that. And so when I listen to this, it sort of reminds me of that. And I was messaging someone in a comment, and they said, "Oh, it just takes so long to get to the lyrics of the song. They just build up, build up, build up. Just and they found it a bit of a wait to get to the lyrics. But this sort of is what I like to listen to from the Cure side. I found that pretty strong release, just for me. This year, the Cure, that's one record I did like. Another one, this is what you call like a late night purchase when you've had, and you looked at this and just buy. So this album is the Morrison Project, and Billy Morrison that's him there. Put together an album with a lot of his musical friends, and of course, I'm just having a brain stamp. I can't remember which bands he was in, but I think he's been in quite a few bands. So he got like artists like Ozzy Osbourne, and once I heard Steve Stevens. I'm a big Steve Stevens fan. I did a feature on him on one of my videos. And so it's got Ozzy Osbourne, it's got Steve Stevens, Al Jorgensen, John Five, he's from Motley Crue. It's got Corey Taylor, Steve Vai as well, another one I did a feature on. DMC, Persia Newman. Of course, one of the tracks has got vocals from Billy Idol as well. So I was in, and also Linda Perry. So I picked up the Morrison Project, Billy Morrison there. A great listen. You might have heard the song on here, Crack Cocaine. Is I think it got quite a lot of play with Ozzy on it. Just great guitar work on there, of course, always from Steve Stevens. So that was like it's kind of I just always pick up stuff from Steve Stevens, so I did get that one. Another one that I did pick up was from Pearl Jam, Dark Matter. I got the Record Store Day release from that, and I did enjoy that album. I haven't bought anything from Pearl Jam, going way back, so I did listen to that and bought a copy of it. It's in there somewhere. And another one, if you go and you sort of like albums that harken back to the 80s, and they've got that sort of sound, they've got those keyboards, the vocals from back then, you'd enjoy this one as well. And this is Nestor's Teenage Rebel. I've showed this before on my channel, and I think it's really cool, all the little details in here. You've got the Stallone movie Cobra up there, poster for that, which was really cool. So it's going back to all those old movies. You've got, of course, Friday the 13th up there. What else we got? Just band shots and, like an 80s bedroom. They've got the old VHS there. And this is just an album of just bang old school songs. A great album to listen to. Like, we're in summer here, and I do listen to this quite a bit. And the ballads are just out of this world with what goes on. Really like that one. And then the next one, sort of, I've got a basically, if if Scott on the No Solution channel can admit he's a Taylor Swift fan, in the comments of one of the biggest heavy metal channels on YouTube, I think it was the Heavy Metallurgy channel, I can admit to this. Something that I enjoy that is not for everyone, and they'll turn their nose up at. One of my favourite albums of the year and streaming and purchasing I got was this album here, Bon Jovi. Yes, Forever. Here we go. So they sort of didn't do themselves any favors. They did country albums, and they went away from their signature sound and what people liked about them, and then they came back with sort of generic stuff that, popular sort of stuff that not everyone liked. But I just have to say that I just needed, at the time, I needed a bit of positivity, I guess you'd say. I'd watched the documentary about John Bon Jovi, and he just seemed like a bit of a bit beaten up, sort of thing. And I had that kind of a year myself. It's like just I was just a bit of a dog year, and this album sort of injected a bit of hope and sort of positivity for me. Of course, it was received pretty badly, and pretty soon it just sort of sunk. But I just sort of like the songs on there, and I had not bought much since. I'm used to thinking about him, in 86, was it 86, swinging in the videos up and down, and, having a lot of fun. And now here, when I've gone back to listen to Bon Jovi, he's struggling with his voice, he's struggling with his performances, and along with things like that. So that sort of struck a bit of a chord with where I was at the time, and just played that. In my statistics, it said it's one of the most played albums I played this year. So I had to include that. Had to not lie and say, like some black metal, like, that's actually what I did listen to quite a bit. And, of course, so I started with a Christmas album, and I'll end with just a couple of Christmas albums. So I'll show you this one. It's a Winter Romance, Dean Martin. And why am I showing this? Because this album, if you think about it, is basically the soundtrack for, if you've seen the movie Die Hard with Bruce Willis. A lot of the songs on here are on that, which is a Christmas movie, Die Hard, Christmas movie. So Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, that's on it. And a lot of these songs. So I've got that album, and when I do listen to it during Christmas time, I think, man, look how they produced those albums back then, vinyl back then. This thing is like perfectly balanced. The edges are really smooth. They really knew how to make vinyl back then. If you're a record collector, it just really geeks me out. It's a micro groove, long playing micro groove. Yeah, just fantastic records they made back then. So I'm playing that a little bit for Christmas. Another Christmas album that I'm playing is Christmasaic, and that is just simply titled Christmas. There he is there in his car. There he is hanging out on the beach, which is sort of like our Christmases over in New Zealand because it's summer here. We hang out at the beach, we play beach cricket, we have barbecues, out by the pool, out by the beach. That's sort of what it's like here. So this is one Christmas album I enjoy from Chris Isaiah. So just finishing off, I was trying to think how I could say, have a good holidays and all that sort of thing. I'm not a lyric writer like he is, so I'll just leave it to a guy that writes lyrics, writes songs, and he just sums it up perfectly. So what he says here is Yuletide salutations. It's that time of year again, and I hope you and your family are safe, warm, and together. If you get that, then all the rest is just pretty wrapping. From my musical family to you and yours, happy holidays, Chris Isaac. So that's the sentiment there, and that's what I'm saying to all you guys out there. Thank you for watching my videos through the year and liking and subscribing and all that stuff, and your commenting. I really do appreciate it, and all the best for the new year. So thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you in another video at some time.